Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. You are listening to Beyond the Barriers with Coach Cindy
and Mayor Sherri. On the Beyond the Barriers radio show, we believe we have the power to change the trajectory of our economic, social, health, and education outcomes by removing barriers that lie within historically excluded communities through cooperative models.
And our show sponsors is Sand Hills Cooperation Association, located at 348 North Main Street, Troy, North Carolina, serving 5 counties: Montgomery, Randolph, Moore, Richmond, and Stanley counties.
Welcome to today's segment of Beyond the Barriers radio show. We're excited to dive into a crucial topic that lies at the heart of equitable progress: economic development in historically excluded communities. What does that look like? Throughout April, we'll be exploring the multifaceted aspects of economic development within communities that have historically been marginalized and overlooked. Our discussions will revolve around strategies, challenges, and promising initiatives aimed at fostering sustainable economic growth and prosperity in these areas. Join us as we engage with experts, community leaders, and advocates who are actively working towards dismantling barriers and creating opportunities for economic empowerment. Together, we'll examine what effective economic development entails and how it can uplift individuals, families, and entire communities. Tune in today and every week in the month of April as we embark on this insightful journey toward understanding and promoting economic equity and inclusion. Let's break down barriers and build bridges towards a more prosperous future for all. Ready to ignite change? Sand Hills Cooperation Association empowers historically excluded communities, helping them become self-sufficient. Join us every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. for our Beyond the Barriers radio show on WDRB Media with Mayor Sherri
and Coach Cindy, addressing community challenges. Visit us at sandhillscooperation.org or visit us on Facebook, Sand Hills Cooperation Association, building brighter futures one community at a time.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
Well, hello, Coach Cindy. How are you today?
I'm good, Miss Sherri. How are you?
I am great. We're in April still,
yes,
where we have been all throughout this month talking about economic development within historically excluded communities and what does it look like. Today's show, we are focusing on the business perspective,
yes,
right? So we've been talking to different experts, bankers, as well as some other financial experts regarding the outside forces and what are they seeing.
Right.
But today's show is dedicated to give a voice to our businesses and what are they experiencing, what are they seeing as well.
The for-profit businesses in our historically excluded communities suffer a greater need. And I do believe that it is systemic, not so much based on color as it is on industry.
Gotcha.
I think the industry is not built for the small business. It's built for big industry because towns and cities, states have often looked at those big industries as the money making, the tax values. They use those industries to determine what kind of housing they can do.
Right.
And so they haven't looked at the entrepreneur and said, what can we bring into our town based on what entrepreneurs are doing? And then on top of that, if you're in a historically excluded community, you're even less likely to get the help that you could get for your business.
So there's a lot that goes along with it as far as taxes, as far as getting registered through the state, knowing what do you do once you, in order to open a business, what permits do you need, what certifications do you need? So all of these things there, and we're beyond the barriers. So it's like we are getting beyond these barriers that may not be a barrier to those who are not historically excluded because they know it. They grow up in it. You know, it's
knowledge.
Exactly.
They have the knowledge to navigate systems that actually weren't even built for us. Now, you know, you used to sell hot dogs and now you got to have papers.
Right.
And
permits, right. You got to be inspected.
Got to be inspected, right.
For insurance purposes, all of those.
Yes, got to get insurance, got to do all of that. That's why our Black businesses who are not used to it, who didn't understand why it was necessary, we've been doing it. It's been okay.
Right.
And so now
it's considered a hustle now. The longevity of hustles, it is so sporadic. It's up and down. What we often see is we see things start, but then we see them stop. Although, like our historically excluded communities, they'll go and they'll get the LLC. Yeah. They'll get all of the registration. They'll get all of these things, but then wait a minute, I gotta renew my LLC every year, $200 I gotta report every year. I gotta make sure that I have this filled out and that. And the amount of energy and effort that is required to sustain the business is something that many people look at and say, you know what, I'm just going to go work for somebody else. I'm just going to to go do something different, or I'm just going to do this under the table.
Right. Oh, right. Under the table became a staple phrase for our people. You'll pay me under the table.
Under the table.
We do this because, but honestly, that wasn't born out of our communities. That was free enterprise.
Right.
That was all over the United States. People did that. It was the government who started saying, but we're not getting that money.
Yes.
And we need to get that money.
As a community coach, what is it that you see is a need for our Black businesses now to be economically developed?
Well, I think education. Education is the bringing out of. So I can give you all the rules and the regulations and what's necessary to have a legitimate business. But if I don't help you bring out of you what will make that sustainable, will make that happen in your life, which would change your mindset. Like I've got to convince you that by getting the LLC, making the quarterly tax payments, how is all that going to benefit me? We're so used to having tax returns that having to pay taxes that we don't understand that.
Right.
But if I'm making enough money that I have to pay taxes, that means that my business is thriving.
I personally recommend coaching, and it's not just for businesses, but for any areas in our life that we see that we're uneducated, that we see that we do not have the information that is needed. There's a point that we get to where we just don't know. We cannot go beyond a certain point unless we have someone to come along and say, hey, let me help you out with this. Right? Let me show you what I've learned. Let me help you through this process. And if we don't take the time to seek out help and to seek out that support, it's going to be a constant cycle and there will be no development.
Right.
It will be an economic disability.
And it does often. And we see that in small business and in large businesses, because there is a thing called Chapter 13 or Chapter 11.
Bankruptcy.
There was a clause put in it even from the beginning.
Right.
Like if it don't work, you can just file this and recoup and whatever. It doesn't have to come to that if we, like you said, if there's a coaching. And I think the entities that should be coaching is the same entities that we should be engaging with for funding. Like if I'm going to give you $50,000,
let me coach you.
Let me coach you on how to spend that $50,000.
Right.
Now it has to be a willingness of mine from the business owner to say, yeah, I'm willing to this is my dream, but you can tell me how to step it out. As a community coach, I think helping people change their mindset and empowering them to understand that just because they're challenged doesn't mean they're defeated. That's what I can do as a community coach. As a business coach, I think that ought to be something that the entities that will afford the funding ought to afford for each of them. It's better for them. They're getting better on their investment in you if they coach you how to get through it.
I believe that.
And then it comes down to, like I said, the mindset of the business owner. Now, if I just want to sell hot dogs, I don't need you to tell me how to make no hot dog. I've been making hot dogs for 20 years.
Right.
Then I'm probably just going to keep a hustle.
Oh, yeah.
And there are people like that. And as a community coach, I get to understand that everybody don't want what I'm offering.
Right.
Some of them want to be left alone and let me deal with it. I made it this far. I can make it on without.
Exactly.
And you're going to have those people.
Right.
But for those that we know who really want to thrive in their business and who really want to make their business part of our community, yes, I think we need coaching. I think coaching is vital.
I do too. We're going to go ahead and have our conversation.
Yes, rich conversation.
Right, rich conversation. We have in our studio today Nomeka Tyson, and we'll hear from her right after this message.
Beyond the Barriers Radio Show.
Are you ready to make a real difference in the world? This April, join us in our mission to foster economic development in historically excluded communities. Imagine a world where every community has access to opportunities for growth and prosperity. That's the world we're striving for, and we need your help to make it a reality. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to invest, a volunteer eager to lend a hand, or simply someone who cares about creating a more equitable society, there's a role for you to play. Together, we can build vibrant local economies, create jobs, and empower individuals and families to achieve their dreams. So, this April, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Let's show the world what's possible when we come together to support economic development in historically excluded communities. Listen every Sunday in the month of April at 5 p.m. on WDRBmedia.com to learn how you can get involved. Together, we can make a lasting impact for generations to come. Economic development starts with you. Let's make a difference together.
This is Beyond the Barriers radio show, and we are on WDRB Media. I am your host, Mayor Sherri.
And I'm Coach Cindy.
And today we have our special guest by the name of Nomeka Tyson. Nomeka Tyson is well known for her awesome skills in hair care as well as entrepreneurship and so many different aspects. And how are you today?
I am good. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys are doing well.
We are in April, and this is our month of economic development within historically excluded communities. Can you give us just some background about who you are?
It's been a journey as an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for at least 25 years, and I really enjoy it. I love it. I've owned my own business, hair salon, and recently expanded into beauty supply. You know, although I recently had to close the beauty supply, still working as far as the salon because that's why I started, and just trying to expand, as I was saying, in the circumstances in the community that I feel like I'm in. You know, it was more difficult for me to establish the expectations of a beauty supply, bigger brand store, and bring it into fruition, especially not having as many resources, you know, as other places, because a lot of times my mentors will refer me to different places outside of the county or even sometimes outside of the state. Just not being able to have resources was discouraging. I just did what I could to keep the business afloat. Just being in the area, I had restrictions on the growth of my business because I had the support from the community. You know, I have a loyal clientele, especially after 25 years, you know, being in this community. And I just try to be there for my client. In expanding the store, although, like I said, I had to close the store, I'm still working to build a salon. That's where I started, and the potential is there. You know, the demand is there. It's just I have to make other people see it. You know, and that's one thing that's hard as well. I was speaking to someone just the other day, you know, and it's not that I feel like I deserve any type of respect or anything to that nature, but just being a service person or a hairstylist, you know, a barber or nail tech, or we don't get the same resources, I guess I could say.
And I know we're talking about what economic development looks like in historically excluded communities. And one of the things that come to my mind is that other industries thrive here off of the resources that is offered by the county or by the town that they're in. But when you start looking at Black businesses, and most of us are in either the food industry or the beauty industry, those industries are not at the forefront of what our county and our towns look at as investment. I think that this is something that has been done for so many years that it has become the norm. And I don't think that it's wise that we continue to let that happen. And I don't know that it's a black and white issue. I just think it's an industry issue, which means more than just maybe going to your local small business center. Maybe they do feel like they've done all they can, but we know that the SBA is pushing entrepreneurship. The SBA is pushing funneling money down into these smaller businesses, into the pockets of these entrepreneurs. And I think that connection is not being made.
What do you feel like you would do different?
I was funded through the SBA with the EIDL, and that's why I wanted to invest in my business. I was up the streets for about 11 years, and when I was funded, the business was going down, the building was going down at the location I was in. So I was looking for space. I was looking for a space, and I didn't even look out here at this space. But a friend mentioned it to me, and I was like, okay, I think I'll take a look into it. But I knew I wanted to expand into beauty supply anyway. So I was like, that'll be a great location. It was a, Family Dollar, like it's right on Main Street, and access for everyone, and it's enough space for fun. And so, I was like, okay, I think I want to do this. And I reached out to a mentor, a paid mentor, and I worked with them for a while. And I think I just got ahead of myself. They were trying to do it a little more patiently and follow these steps and rules. But I think I got a little ahead of myself. I just went ahead. I signed my lease. I was trying to get in the location. I was buying products. I was buying equipment. I was doing this and I was doing that. When I really feel like, even with the EIDL loan, I just wish I would have had a counselor with those funds to help me with my project, because I have it on paper. I have a business plan. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. It's just that with no guidance, and I'm not trying to sound like a child here. I don't expect anybody to hold my hand, but I just wish that with funding like that, just like a lot of businesses I know like mine that had gotten funding, with guidance, more guidance, I feel like we would be more successful in expanding or opening the businesses. Wealth comes with the knowledge. Like if I know, look, you need to negotiate this lease a little bit more, or you need to wait and order this first and save a little bit here. Although I had been in business since 2007, I was just excited to be able to expand my business in a location where I knew the demand was for my clients. So I just wish that in the beginning I would have gotten a little bit more guidance or seeked out more guidance to help me with that process, because I feel like I would have came into the situation a little smoother.
I think it's important for us to learn from the journey of others. And one of the things that I hear you saying is, if you had a business coach, if you had someone to walk you through the whole process, then you feel like your decision making would have changed, that you would have been able to consider other things.
That was one of the first investments that I made when I was funded for my business. I just wish I would have did a little more research with that too. We took classes. It was like a virtual class online, like a Zoom, where we could see each other. And, I think it was a great investment. It's just, I really felt like I needed one-on-one contact. I just want to say one thing, and as far as business, because I continue to say I love what I do. My business, that's my babies, other than my babies, and I just want people to know to stay encouraged, because just because it didn't work out the first time, or the second time, or the third time, like if you keep on going, you don't never know. Like, just keep trying and keep and take a break when you need it. You never know what you can accomplish, because I ain't done yet. Thank y'all for having me.
Right. Thank you for being with us. This has been very invigorating, and I think that our listeners will understand the successes in the journey, right? You got to keep it moving. Got to keep it moving.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you again. You're listening to Beyond the Barriers radio show on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and we'll be right back after this message.
This summer, unlock the potential of your child at the Love Summer Academy. Hooray! Join us for a summer filled with fun, learning, and growth. Our program offers exciting activities like hands-on science projects, youth entrepreneurship, STEM sessions, and so much more.
Awesome!
Give your child the opportunity to develop critical thinking skills, build self-confidence, and make lifelong friendships in a safe and supportive environment.
Cool!
Enroll your child today and watch them thrive at the Love Summer Academy. Spaces are limited, so don't wait. Visit our website at sandhillscooperation.org or call to register at 910-573-3070. Love Summer Academy, where every child's potential shines bright.
Beyond the Barriers nugget of wisdom from Coach Cindy.
Hi, this is Coach Cindy with your nugget of wisdom for the week. And today we're going to talk about good success. Now, we know that by definition, success means to obtain or to accomplish or to be progressive in the goals of your life. Okay, that's okay. That's good if you got good goals. But you can be successful in murdering someone. You can be successful in robbing a bank. Success of itself doesn't hold a whole lot of eternal weight. But let's talk about good success, because the word good is a very rich word. Some have said that the word good comes from the Hebrew word God. It has such a rich meaning to it because the word God in good news means God's news. The word is synonymous to wisdom, what is good, what is right. When we talk about good success, we're talking about something that is beyond accomplishing what is only for you. Good success involves accomplishing something that is not only beneficial to you, but is beneficial to others that are involved in your endeavors. Let me give you a couple of examples of good success. We're going to talk about Moses and Joshua. In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, you will see where Joshua took up the mantle of good success when Moses passed on. But Moses made it to the very gates of the promised land and he passed on. And some have said that Moses passed on because he hit the rock and God wouldn't let him go in. But Moses accomplished good success because his good success was not about him. His good success was about freeing the children of Israel out of the bondage of slavery in Egypt. And he got them to the point where God intended for him to bring them. And then Joshua took it up and he took the children on into the promised land. So Joshua also had good success. So what did they have in common? They were both instructed by the wisdom of God, who is good. And they accomplished those things that were not only beneficial to them, but was beneficial to those involved in the plan of God from the beginning. So when we think about success and good success, let's be determined that everything we accomplish, everything that we attain, everything that we progress in will have meaning for someone other than ourselves, and then we can call it good success. Meanwhile, I'll see you next week, and meanwhile, you be wise, be healthy, and be blessed.
On the Barriers nugget of wisdom from Coach Cindy.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
Attention all community champions. It's time to shine a spotlight on those who make a difference. Nominations are now open for the Black Journey Continues 2025 Service Awards. Do you know someone who goes above and beyond to serve our community? Nominate them today at blackjourneycontinues.com and let's celebrate their outstanding contributions together. Join us in honoring the unsung heroes who make our community thrive. Together, let's continue the journey of service and recognition. Visit our website at blackjourneycontinues.com to submit your nomination before May 31st. Black Journey Continues 2025 Service Awards, celebrating excellence in service and community impact in Montgomery, Moore, Randolph, Richmond, and Stanley counties, North Carolina. Nominate now. Visit our website at blackjourneycontinues.com.
I'm just a kid, but I know something big. I know the power of community. In our historically excluded neighborhoods, we can rise together. We need your help, your support. Let's build something stronger and break the cycle. A better future is within reach, but we need you. Join hands, be the change. Together, we are a force. This is our community, our story. Will you be a part of it? Visit sandhillscooperation.org and become a part of the change.
Ready to ignite change? Sandhills Cooperation Association empowers historically excluded communities, helping them become self-sufficient. Join us every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. for our Beyond the Barriers radio show on WDRB Media with Mayor Sherri
and Coach Cindy addressing community challenges. Visit us at sandhillscooperation.org or visit us on Facebook, Sandhills Cooperation Association, building brighter futures one community at a time.
Attention innovators, community builders, and champions of positive change. Beyond the Barriers radio show is inviting you to be part of our empowering journey. We're on the lookout for sponsors who believe in breaking barriers and amplifying voices in historically excluded communities. Want to showcase your brand or cause to our engaged audience? Visit Sandhills Cooperation.org to explore exciting sponsorship opportunities, from on-air endorsements to impactful commercials. Become a part of a platform that celebrates resilience, triumph, and community strength. Our show is not just about telling stories. It's about shaping narratives and making a lasting impact. By sponsoring Beyond the Barriers, you align your brand with a mission of inclusivity, empowerment, and positive change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org today to purchase advertisements, endorsements, or even secure a spot as a guest on our show. Let's break barriers together and create a vibrant, connected community. Beyond the Barriers radio show, where every sponsorship is an investment in positive transformation. Be a catalyst for change. Visit sandhillscooperation.org now. Beyond the Barriers radio show. Breaking barriers, building connections.
We have been discussing economic development within historically excluded communities. What does it look like? Join us next week as we continue our discussion.
We want to thank today's guest, Nomeka Tyson, for joining us and contributing in our discussion with economic development. We thank you for your time.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Please listen live 24/7 by going to WDRBmedia.com and click on the Listen Live tab. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show or want free advertising, call us at 910-573-3070 or email us at sandhillscooperation@gmail.com. Connect with us on social media at Sandhills Cooperation Association, also at Beyond the Barriers Radio Show. You've been listening to Beyond the Barriers Radio Show, and we are your hosts, Mayor Sherri
and Coach Cindy on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Sowing seeds of change, breaking barriers, and transforming lives. That's what we do at Beyond the Barriers. Until next week, continue to be blessed.
Beyond the Barriers radio show.